This is At the Public Library, the video source for news and information about the San Francisco Public Library System. This month's show features a look back at the 100 years of children's library services at the San Francisco Public Library, an introduction to 3 brand new services, telephone renewal, First Search online data reference, and public access to the internet, and a look at the 3 new exhibits at the main library, as well as listings of programs and events for children, teens, and adults at the public library.
Come to the main library's Lurie Room every Thursday at noon for a free large-screen video showing. October's series, The Dancer and the Dance, begins on October 5th with Fred Astaire puttin' on his top hat, a retrospective of the amazing Astaire's early film career, culminating with his partnership with Ginger Rogers. On October 12th, Baryshnikov at Wolf Trap, the incredible Mikhail Baryshnikov's performance at the peak of his artistic talents. Brilliant solos and pas de deux with marvelous ballerinas. October 19th brings Ailey Dances. Judith Jamison presents this documentary of Alvin Ailey's work and his mission. 4 beautiful works are danced as they were recorded at New York's Center Theater. Finally, on October 26th, Pas de Deux, 7 classical pas de deux, choreographed by the best, including Balanchine, and danced at the Los Angeles Ballet Festival in 1984. That's The Dancer and the Dance. Large-screen videos in the main library's Lurie Room every Thursday at noon.
The Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch Library Classic Film Series continues this month with Chamber of Horrors, a mystery thriller that asks the question, what lies behind the door with 7 locks?
Good evening, Doctor. I can save you the trouble of going to the tomb. You were going there, weren't you?
You seem to know a great deal about my movements.
You'll be surprised just how much I have learned since your partner, Mr. Havelock, opened the tomb.
I congratulate you.
Where's Miss Lansdowne?
Oh, no, please, Mr. Martin. Surely, as a detective, it is your job to find that out.
Exactly what I'm going to do. Let me out! Of your own medicine, Dr. Manetta.
Let me out! Let me out! Salvame Diestro! Let me out! Oh, Dios mío! Salvame Diestro!
Where's Miss Lansdowne?
Let me out, and I'll tell you.
Not until you tell me where she is.
Let me out! Let me out! I'll speak it. No. Release me.
Now!
Oh, no, for God's sake, let me out!
Starring Leslie Banks as the Scotland Yard detective and Lily Palmer as the young heiress, Chamber of Horrors was produced in England in 1940 and was directed by Norman Lee. The screenplay was based on the classic mystery thriller The Door with 7 Locks by Edgar Wallace. This 16mm screening of Chamber of Horrors will begin at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, October 18th at the Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch Library, located at 451 Jersey Street.
And after you've visited the Noe Valley Branch Library, you might want to see Portrait of a Community, Noe Valley through the eyes of Noe Valley Voice photographers. Showing now through December 24th in the main library's second floor rotunda, the exhibit highlights the best photographs published by the Noe Valley Voice over its 17-year history. Let's join Charles Kennard, Noe Valley Voice photo editor, for more about the show.
I'm Charlie Kennard. I'm photo editor of the Noe Valley Voice, which is a monthly newspaper. And I joined the Noe Valley Voice a long time ago, I think 1979. I came to Noe Valley actually from Honolulu. And the newspaper had been going about 2 years then, advertised for photographers and writers. It was a fledgling publication. It was relying on volunteer effort. And I actually wrote a Dear Sir or Madam letter to the editors, and which they've never teased me about since. But I got a job as a photographer then, and I've stuck with it ever since, even though I don't actually live in Noe Valley any longer. And this exhibit was something that we developed about a year ago, when work was a bit slow for me, and I had the idea of getting together all the best photographs from the whole of the Noe Valley Voice's history. And so I contacted, I think, 11 photographers. There are generally about 3 or 4 regular ones at any time. And we went through every issue of the newspaper, choosing the best photographs, and culled it down to about 80. And so what you can see in the public library today is a selection of about 24 or so from that original show. The photographers contributing to this show are Najib Joe Hakim, Ed Buren, Beverly Tharp, Tom Wax, and myself. The Noe Valley Voice was founded actually before I joined the newspaper by Sally Smith and some friends of hers who actually met in Finnegan's Wake, which was a bar on 24th Street that has changed its name several times. And some of the others were Bill Lehman and Deborah Phelan and some other people. And they had the idea of getting out this monthly newspaper and put it together on their typewriters and then pasted it up. And it just gathered steam since then. It was originally, for several years, was entirely volunteer effort, and they were just paying expenses. But now they pay something, so there is some incentive, but not really enough for people who haven't got a feeling for the community to want to do it, really. And so many of us originally lived in the neighborhood and did it for that reason. And so it's a newspaper that I think contributes a lot to the community, and I enjoy working with it. But something that's developed just this summer, which is rather fun. Some time ago, I started taking copies of the newspaper with me on vacation and photographing it in funny places. I've done one using it as a fish wrap in the London Underground. A friend of mine was doing it. I've taken it to Machu Picchu, where I had 2 Peruvian soldiers reading it, where you could see Machu Picchu spread out below them. And I've taken it to Oaxaca, and it's used as a spice wrap there. And just this summer, readers started sending in copies of it, sending in copies of the photographs they'd taken on vacation. And it's so touching. They think when they're packing their suitcases to go on holiday, they think of putting a copy of the Voice in with them. So actually in the September issue, we had one from Glacier Bay on a cruise boat. We had 2 soldiers sent one from Korea. And we had from Yosemite, and one being read outside the Parthenon in Athens. And this year I took it to St. Mark's in Venice and had the pigeons walking all over it in St. Mark's Square. And actually Jack ran that as a full back page for our literary issue. More Mouths to Feed is a section that began, I don't know how long ago, maybe 8 years ago. And as all the people working on the newspaper got older and realized they better have children now or never, then suddenly there was more and more interest on the editorial board in these children. And so now we have a regular feature photographing, not exactly newborns, they're generally sort of 6 months, 10 months old babies. And so now we get many letters coming in saying, photograph me and our baby. And so people enjoy that column a lot, I think. Though one person did complain to me that we should be devoting more space to performances than children. So I think the newspaper does reflect a lot the interests of the editors, as is inevitable when people aren't doing it for a financial reward. The Noe Valley Voice has had almost continuous stories about the struggle to keep the branch library open. And Ed Buren took this wonderful picture of Art Agnos, mayor of San Francisco, in '88, showing his support for the libraries. And Ed is quite a tall man. He's probably 6'6", so his height was very handy to get this picture. And Tom Wax took this photograph of Carolyn Power entertaining at Children's Hour. Noe Valley has its share of celebrities. Here's Ruth Ozawa in a photograph taken by Tom Wax. Many artists seem to be drawn to Noe Valley, and recently actually I just photographed Mark Adams and his wife Beth Van Heusen, which was in the September issue, I think it was. Also Cecil Williams does or has lived in Noe Valley. Beverly Tharp photographed him, and Bobby McFerrin, and also we have the advisor to President Reagan's astrologer. I did a portrait of her for a story. And also I believe Cathy Nyhan, who's one of the architects of the new main library, is a Noe Valley resident, though we haven't done a story on her in connection with this project. Maud Valandry was a delightful woman I met. She lives high up on 24th Street, and she welcomed us into her home and showed us our kittens, which we appreciated admiringly. And then I took this photograph of her in a light moment. One of the social centers of Noe Valley is the Noe Valley Ministry, and a lot happens, particularly in the downstairs room there. There's a daycare center there every day run by Nina Zempel, and she's photographed actually with a bunch of children for this show. And Tom Wax took a wonderful photograph of Bob Coulter's 100th birthday party, and you can see a little boy peeping around the corner, looking more interested in the singer than the cake. Well, I think one of the loveliest ones is actually a photograph by Ed Buren, which he took in 1969 in Alvarado Elementary School in the schoolyard. He's a great photographer who's very good at catching the fleeting moment, whereas I tend to, these days, do less sort of street-type photography and more of the set-up portraits. So his contribution that way is really valuable. And there's another one, actually, which was taken by Joe Hakim, of an emotional moment in St. Paul's when they were trying to save the church from being sold. And so those pictures are particularly valuable in the newspaper. There were 3 curators for this exhibit. There was myself and Beverly Tharp and Tom Wax, and we actually organized the original show of these photographs too. And those 2 and myself are really the principal photographers, and Joe Hakim and Pamela Gerard. I guess those are the main ones right now.
If you'd like to see more of Noe Valley through the eyes of Noe Valley Voice photographers, come to the main library, 2nd floor rotunda, for Portrait of a Community, showing now through December 24th.
There are 2 other new exhibits now on view at the main library. The 23rd Annual Members Exhibition of the Hahn Bookbinders of California is being presented in the South Hall of the 3rd floor. The exhibit runs through November 30th and features the work of design binders, fine binders, edition binders, conservators, and book artists. Next month, at the Public Library, we'll present a review of the exhibition by renowned Bay Area bookbinders Dominic Riley and John Demerit. And while you're up on the 3rd floor, stop by the Rare Book Room. On display now through November 30th is Print Exchange 1995, Reflections in the City. The Print Exchange book was conceived in 1990 by artist Elisa Golden as a forum for artists to merge words and images and make a collaborative book. This exchange gives the artists an informal opportunity to discover other artists and receive high-quality, innovative small prints by mail. It also provides a chance to explore new media and techniques and share the results. Print Exchange 1995, Reflections in the City, on view now through November 30th in the Rare Book Room on the 3rd floor of the main library.
Hi, my name is Alexis Bergen, and I go to Benjamin Franklin Middle School. I'm going to the 7th grade this year, but before I go to the 7th grade this summer, I decided to read a couple of books. This book is called James and the Giant Peach. It's a great book. It's about a boy who lives with his 2 aunts, very mean aunts, because his mom and dad got ran over by a big elephant. And he drinks this magic water and grows a great big peach. And he goes in the peach and he meets a couple of friends. And in this book, you'll see everything, all the great adventures that happen to them while they're in this peach. So won't you go pick it up at your local library as soon as possible?
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm also known as Lotta Books. And I am a prime suspect in the mystery at the library, to be held here at the Bayview Library on Wednesday, October 25th at 7 p.m. The Bayview Library is located at 5075 3rd Street at Revere. If you are a middle schooler between the ages of 11 and 14, come and be a detective and help solve the mystery of who killed Reed Tomes. Besides, pizza will be the reward. Also at the Bayview Library will be the Poetry Slam. Now this is going to be held on October 18th at 6:30 p.m. This is an open mic poetry contest, which means anybody can attend. And the audience is going to choose the winners. The middle school outreach program is doing 6 other activities this fall for young people between the ages of 11 and 14. If you've ever wanted to sharpen your school skills or get those grades higher, then come to one of our homework and study skill programs. Homework programs are Wednesday, November 2nd at 3:30 p.m. at the Marina Library, 1890 Chestnut Street, and Friday, December 1st at 3:30 p.m. at the Parkside Library, 1200 Taravel Street. If you've ever wanted to paint or thought about having a career in the visual arts, come to one of our Paint Power Art programs. Artists from the Support Oakland Artists Group are going to be giving free hands-on workshops. And you're also going to get to paint your own t-shirt. You must sign up in advance for these programs, but like all other library activities, it's absolutely free. These activities are going to be held on Wednesdays throughout November. Wednesday, November 1st at 3:30 at the Potrero Library, 1616 20th Street. Wednesday, November 8th at 3:30 p.m., North Beach Library, 2000 Mason Street. Wednesday, November 15th at 3:30 p.m., Park Library at 1833 Page Street. And Wednesday, November 29th at 3:30 p.m., West Portal Library, 190 Lenox Way. So take advantage of your public library and come to the fall lineup for teens.
Hi everyone, my name is Noe Valley. I'm 11 years old and I'm going to Martin Luther King for summer school. This book is called Stay Out of the Basement. I like it a lot because it's spooky and it gives me interesting dreams at night so I won't wake up and bother my mother. This book is about 2 kids and their dad. Their dad just lost his job, right? So then he stays in the basement a lot, but once they go down there and it's very hot and they can hear a plant breathing, they're like, oh my goodness, that's so spooky. And then their dad, he turned into a plant instead of a human. If you want to find out the rest, you have to read it. This book is very fun for me because I like interesting books, I like movies, and I don't like sissy books. That's it.
Hi, my name is Yorn and I'm in 7th grade. I want to introduce you a book called Hatchet and it's by Gary Posson. This book is about a boy named Brian, and he was flying in a plane to Kennard to be with his father, but in the middle of the flight, the pilot had a heart attack and died, but he don't know how to fly the plane, so the plane crashes. when he woke up from after the crash, all he saw was a hatchet a hatchet, and with the hatchet he found ways to hunt and make fire. He found a radio transmitter and sends out SOS messages, and finally a plane came and saved them, and he went back to Canada. He went to Canada and lived with his father and lived happily after. I think you will enjoy the book because it's exciting and lots of adventures. I think you will like it.
Kids will also like these events during the month of October for children at the public library. Beginning with the Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch Library, which presents a preschool story time for children ages 3 to 5 at 10:15 and 10:45 a.m. every Monday morning. On Tuesdays, a preschool film program at 10:15 and 10:45 a.m. And on October 11th at 3:30 p.m., an after-school film program for children ages 6 and older. That's all at the Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch Library, located at 5075 3rd Street at Revere. The Ortega Branch Library has a preschool story time on Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. for children ages 2 to 5. Preschool crafts are on October 3rd, the 17th, and the 31st at 11 a.m. On Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m., a family night story time. And on October 4th and 18th at 7:20 p.m., a family night crafts program. Finally, on October 18th at 7 p.m., a special family night program featuring Joe Hoffman with a magic show with tricks and illusions. That's all at the Ortega Branch Library at 3223 Ortega Street at 39th. Preschool events at the Ingleside Branch are Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m., with preschool story time being the 3rd, the 17th, and the 31st, and preschool videos are on the 10th and the 24th. On October 11th, movies for children 7 and older at 3:30 p.m. That's all at the Ingleside Branch Library, located at 387 Ashton Avenue, near Ocean. The Merced Branch presents a preschool story time every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for children ages 3 to 5. On October 6th at 4 p.m., an after-school film program for ages 6 and over. October 13th brings a craft and story time program for children ages 6 and over at 4 p.m. October 20th is after-school videos for ages 6 and over at 4 p.m. That's all at the Merced Branch Library, located at 155 Winston Drive at 19th Avenue. The Visitation Valley Branch has preschool story time on October 3rd at 10 and 10:45 a.m. On October 6th and the 20th, a family video program at 3:30 in the afternoon. Every Saturday at 12:30 p.m., story time for ages 6 and under. October 11th at 10 and 10:45 a.m. is preschool film time for ages 3 to 5. And on October 17th at 10 and 10:45 a.m., a preschool craft program for ages 3 to 5. That's all at the Visitation Valley Branch Library at 45 Leland Avenue at Bayshore. The Sunset Branch Library presents preschool story time every Tuesday morning for ages 2 to 5. That's October 3rd, 10th, 24th, and 31st, all at 10:30 a.m. Preschool film programs are on October 17th at 10:30 and 11:15 a.m. and at 1:30 p.m. October 17th at 7 p.m. brings a family night film program. October 18th at 7 p.m. is evening videos for ages 6 and over. And on Tuesdays, October 3rd, 10th, 24th, and 31st at 7 p.m., family story time for all ages. That's all at the Sunset Branch Library, located at 1305 18th Avenue at Irving. The Mission Branch Library provides a story time on Saturdays at 11 a.m. in English and at noon in Spanish. October 10th is preschool films at 10 and 11 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And a family film night on October 11th and the 25th at 7 p.m. All at the Mission Branch Library, located at 3359 24th Street, near Mission. The Marina Branch Library presents a preschool video program for children ages 3 to 5 on October 10th at 10:30 a.m., including Teeny Tiny and the Witch Woman and Dinosaur. That's the Marina Branch Library at 1890 Chestnut Street, near Webster. The Richmond Branch features a preschool film program on October 17th at 10:15 and again at 11 a.m. October 18th is an evening preschool video program for ages 3 to 5 at 7 p.m. And October 30th, Spooky Stories for ages 6 to 8 at 3:30 p.m. That's all at the Richmond Branch Library, located at 351 9th Avenue, near Clement. Come to the North Beach Branch on October 19th for children's film programs. Children 6 and older will have an after-school film series at 3:45 p.m. Preschoolers ages 2 to 5 can come at 10, 10:30, or 11 a.m., or 2:15 and 3 p.m. That's all at the North Beach Branch Library, located at 2000 Mason Street at Columbus. Come to the Potrero Branch at 2 p.m. on October 28th when Kid Stuff presents special scary stories and music for children ages 4 to 7. That's the Potrero Branch Library, 1616 20th Street, near Connecticut. The Main Library Children's Department presents a family story time every Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. October 18th is a preschool film program for ages 2 to 5 at 10 and 10:45 a.m. and 2 p.m. Also on October 18th, an after-school video program for ages 6 and over at 4 p.m. And October 19th, another preschool film program for ages 2 to 5 at 10 and 10:45 a.m. That's at the Main Library Children's Department, located at the corner of Larkin and McAllister Streets in the Civic Center. And if you're looking for Halloween arts and crafts programs, look no further. The Bayview Ana'iwan Branch and the Visitation Valley Branch are both having arts and crafts programs on October 25th at 3:30 p.m. Come to the Main Library on October 26th at 4 p.m. Arts and crafts at the Ingleside Branch on October 27th at 3:30 p.m. The Mission Branch Arts and Crafts Halloween program will be October 27th at 4:30 p.m. The Richmond Branch has their Arts and Crafts program on October 31st at 11:30 a.m. That's Halloween Arts and Crafts at your branch library. On Thursday, October 5th at the Visitation Valley Branch Library, The Blob, a program of improvisational dance form for all ages, done to electronic music. Presented at the Visitation Valley Branch Library at 45 Leland Avenue. Bonnie Lockhart entertains and builds self-esteem with songs and music games from around the world at the Ingleside Branch Library on Wednesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Christine Scott of the California Bat Conservation Fund and her bats will come to the library. The program includes a slideshow featuring bats around the world and a chance to meet bats in person. That's at the North Beach Branch Library on Wednesday, October 25th at 3:45 p.m. and the Golden Gate Valley Branch on Thursday, October 26th at 3 p.m. Come to an after-school mask-making program for children ages 6 and over on October 27th at the Glen Park Branch at 3:30 p.m. and at the Merced Branch at 4 p.m. The San Francisco Public Library is proud to present Under One Sky, a sing-along concert led by Ruth Pelham. With a stage presence full of humor, warmth, and spontaneity, Ruth gets audiences singing, clapping, and tapping, and feeling like a room full of longtime friends and family. Join us for this program for all ages on Wednesday, November 1st at 3:30 p.m. at the Sunset Branch, Tuesday, November 7th at 4 p.m. at the West Portal Branch, on November 8th at 10:30 in the morning at the Main Library, and 3:30 p.m. at the Richmond Branch. That's Ruth Pelham in concert. You're watching At the Public Library on San Francisco's cable channel 54, City Watch. You can see At the Public Library on Tuesdays at 3 p.m., Fridays at 8 p.m., and Saturdays at 2 p.m.
Books, check them out. Books, check them out. Pick up a book. You got a fantasy, imagination can take you to where you want to be. Are you curious? How can you find out? Books, check them out. Books, check them out. Read about stars and cars, playing electric guitars, or cops that work hard, patrolling the boulevard, the heavyweight champ and his craziest bout. Books, check them out. Books, check them out. At your library.
Are you interested in becoming a U.S. citizen? The Excelsior Branch Library presents free U.S. citizenship workshops led by La Raza Centro Legal. Learn the legal requirements and the resources that exist to help you succeed. The orientations are free the first Saturday of each month at the Excelsior Branch Library, located at 4400 Mission Street. They take place at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, October 8th, November 4th, and December 2nd. To become a United States citizen, you need to be a legal permanent resident. For more information, call La Raza Centro Legal at 575-3500.
¿Está interesado en naturalizarse y ser ciudadano de los Estados Unidos? Ciudadanía le da poder y en la mayoría de los países de Latinoamérica no se pierden los derechos de propiedad. Entérese de todo el proceso legal, los recursos que existen y mucho más. El taller de información es gratis. Los talleres de información se ofrecen el primer sábado de cada mes a las 11:30 de la mañana, octubre 8, noviembre 4 y diciembre 2, en la biblioteca del Excelsior, en el 4400 de la calle Misión, en San Francisco. Si decide llenar la solicitud, se le pide una donación de $20. Recuerde que, para ser ciudadano, se necesita ser residente legal. Para más información, llame a La Raza Centro Legal al número de teléfono 415-575-3500.
The Bernal Heights Branch Library presents lectures, films, and book discussion groups in Spanish on the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m.
La Biblioteca de Bernal Heights ofrece, en español, presentaciones, películas y discusiones de libros, el primer y tercer miércoles de cada mes a las 7 de la noche.
The Sunset Branch invites you to join them on Monday, October 30th at 7 p.m. when artist Tom Hahn presents an illustrated lecture on the making of his special edition of Robert Louis Stevenson's The Bottle Imp, a tale of San Francisco and the South Seas. The heart of the lecture will focus on the Bottle Imp illustrations and aspects of the book's design and production, including the use of Hawaiian motifs and authentic Victorian type styles. Regarded for over a century as a masterpiece of storytelling, the Bottle Imp has rarely been issued in a volume of its own. San Francisco illustrator Tom Hahn will present his new edition, which features 21 full-color paintings, in addition to other pieces from his extensive personal library of Stevensonia. A book signing will follow the presentation. That's Tom Hahn at the Sunset Branch, October 30th at 7 p.m. Also at the Sunset Branch, a conversation about quilts, presented by Marge Fredette, quilter and quilting teacher, all on Monday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. Show and tells are welcome.
The San Francisco Public Library's Services for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired is located on the second floor of the main library, Civic Center. Staffed with personnel fluent in American Sign Language, the services for the deaf and hearing impaired contain numerous resources for and about the deaf and hearing impaired. The library's deaf services may be reached via TTD at phone number 557-4433 or voice phone at 557-4434. Hours of operation are Mondays, 12 noon to 5 p.m., Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 12 noon to 8 p.m., and Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 12 noon to 5 p.m.
Library patrons at several of the branches are meeting to discuss favorite works of literature. Titles change regularly. Here's the schedule for the month of October. On Wednesday, October 4th at 7:30 p.m., the Western Edition branch group will discuss 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the Nobel Prize-winning author of Love in the Time of Cholera. The Sunset Branch Group meets on October 11th at 7 p.m. for a look at two books focusing on the AIDS crisis. My Own Country by Abraham Verghese is a doctor's story of a town and its people in the age of AIDS. Carol Pogash's As Real as It Gets tells of the life of a hospital at the center of the AIDS epidemic. The Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch meets on Wednesday, October 25th at 7:30 p.m. to read The English Patient by Michael Odache. This Booker Prize-winning novel traces the intersection of four damaged lives in an abandoned Italian villa at the end of World War II. Also on the literary front, on October 11th at 7 p.m., the Glen Park branch welcomes neighborhood resident Richard Stuckey, who will read from two novels, Kinsella's Man and A Still and Woven Blue. On Saturday, October 14th at 2:30 p.m., the Chinatown branch welcomes San Francisco native Ruth Ann Lum McCunn, author of 1,000 Pieces of Gold, for a reading and book signing from her new novel, Wooden Fish Songs. Stay tuned for future book discussion groups at your branch library.
And now, here's some news and notes of interest about the San Francisco Public Library for October 1995. This month marks the 100th anniversary of Children's Services at the San Francisco Public Library, which very well may be the first public library services for children to be established on the West Coast. Plans for a juvenile department were first made public in a July 16, 1895 San Francisco Call newspaper article titled Public Library Changes. The article tells of a series of planned improvements for the main library, which at that time was located in the McAllister Street wing of the old City Hall. A subsequent San Francisco Call article of September 4, 1895, reported that at the previous evening's meeting of the Free Library Trustees, it was decided to introduce an innovation by making the department upstairs, now reserved for ladies, a juvenile department. The article goes on to state that juveniles will have free access to the department at all times. It will be in charge of a competent lady attendant who will direct their reading and keep them in order. The tables will be well provided with books of travel and other works to cultivate their minds and take them from the desire for trashy literature. It was in October of 1895 that the juvenile department first opened in the North Gallery of the main library with a collection of about 3,000 volumes. From this innovative beginning, children's services grew as the San Francisco Public Library began to add new branches throughout the city. The old City Hall and library were destroyed in the 1906 earthquake and fire, and the present main library was opened with a new children's room in 1917. Throughout the past 100 years, the San Francisco Public Library has continued to offer innovative services to the children of San Francisco. Storytime programs have been a popular attraction at the San Francisco Public Library for years. And even the smallest of patrons are included at the library at weekly lap-sit programs. The children of San Francisco have been involved in the summer reading program at their neighborhood libraries for decades. And with each passing summer, the number of children participating in the program continues to grow. Today, the Children's Library Services professional staff and technicians continue the spirit of innovation that began in 1895 with a variety of informational and entertaining programs for children of all the communities that make San Francisco the special place it is. The new main library, scheduled to open in April 1996, will contain within its walls the largest children's department on the West Coast. Included will be a storytelling room, a program room, a large reading room, an electronic discovery center, and an outside garden terrace. The new main library, the ongoing renovations of the neighborhood branches, and a dedicated and well-trained staff will help assure that innovative and quality children's library services will continue to flourish in San Francisco for another 100 years. If you enjoy children and children's books and have a desire to help others, then you may be interested in participating in the Book Buddies program. Trained by the San Francisco Public Library and medical personnel, Book Buddies are very special volunteers who bring stories, poems, and library services to children in San Francisco hospitals. Using a variety of techniques, including puppetry, felt board stories, and music, Book Buddies offer comfort and support to hospitalized children. The Book Buddies program is sponsored by the Friends of the Library, and Book Buddies training sessions are given 3 times a year. The next training will be held on Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the main library. To register for the training, phone the Friends of the Library at 557-4256. Last month, the San Francisco Public Library introduced 3 new services: Telephone Renewal, the First Search interactive online information system, and free public access to the Internet. If you have a touch-tone telephone, you can now use it to perform self-service renewal of books and other materials checked out from the San Francisco Public Library. The startup of this new and convenient service was coordinated by Circulation Services Manager Loretta Dowell.
Hi, welcome to the world of Telephone Renewal, a new service available at the San Francisco Public Library. Just dial 557-4511 between the hours of 6 a.m. and 12 midnight, 7 days a week, and renew your materials with beautiful Betty.
Welcome to the San Francisco Public Library's telephone processing system. You must have a touch-tone phone to use this service. Using the number keys on your telephone, please enter your library card number followed by the pound sign.
Just listen and follow the instructions. The menu message reads, enter 1 for renewal, enter 2 for overdue materials, enter 3 for overdue fines, enter 4 for reserves. Remember, the service is available 7 days per week, 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. Remember to have your library card and materials at the telephone. One word of warning, remember, the system will not give you access to renew your items on the day that they are due. Just dial 557-4511 and enjoy this new service.
Another new service introduced last month is FirstSearch, the online interactive information system that helps make database research more productive.
FirstSearch is a database of databases. It's an index of over 50 databases that's on our online catalog. It's accessible through the internet, and these databases range from newspaper and magazine indexes to business databases. They run the whole gamut of magazines, books, videos, computer software, indexes. It's useful for students, for scholars, for somebody that just wants a movie review or a telephone number. We have one database on First Search that is an index of all the telephone directories in the country. It's the white pages and the yellow pages. There's an index I like called Event Line, where say you want to go to a flamenco festival in Spain, you can go into Event Line and type in those terms and find out when flamenco festivals in Spain are scheduled from now until the year 2000. And you can, one of the assets of First Search is if you have an email account on the internet, you can mail these citations to your email account, so you don't have to write everything down or print everything out. And if you find an article that you want that the library doesn't own and you don't want to wait for our interlibrary loan department to get it, you can pay to have it delivered to you. First Search is available at all of our online catalogs, which are in all of our branches and at the main library. This is a trial product, so I'd really like to encourage the public to come to the library, to the branches or the main library, and give it a try and let us know what they think.
Now everyone can enjoy the benefits of the online world with free internet access at all San Francisco public libraries. You don't have to be an experienced net surfer to take advantage of this global information network.
The internet is a sort of network of networks. It's a whole bunch of computer systems that are linked together around the world. A lot of universities, increasingly now libraries, and even commercial services are all tied into this same network. So you can basically go from place to place on the internet anywhere in the world. The University of Cambridge Library, for example, you can go anywhere. The World Wide Web is meant to be an easy-to-use version of the internet. It's a part of the internet, but it's not the whole internet. And what it is like a point-and-click mouse version of the internet. Instead of having to type in a complex address, you just sort of cruise using your mouse and clicking on things. So it's basically how the World Wide Web is meant to work. Well, we don't have a graphical interface. Our communications network isn't up to doing that. So what we've got is what's called a text-based browser. It's called Links. And what that means is you can look at the words, the text that is on the World Wide Web, but you won't be getting any of the images or the sounds that are associated with that. A lot of times, in fact, what you'll see is a little word image, where there would be an image if you were using the World Wide Web. This also means that we don't have a mouse point-and-click type of access. What we've got is a little bit clumsier. It's, you have to use arrow keys to move around to the links to other documents rather than just being able to use a mouse to click on them. But it still works, and you can still see all the information that's available on the World Wide Web and on the internet through this interface. And that's the important thing from our perspective, is to have the information available. The internet World Wide Web is available at every branch library, on every public access terminal that you come in to use. They're on our catalog terminals. So if you come in to use the computer catalog, you'll also have the option of now using the internet at the very same place. It's also available through our dial-up access. So somebody at home who's using their home computer can dial into the library, look up a book, and go out and cruise on the internet for a little while. The staff can help with the internet. A lot of our staff have been trained to use the internet. But the thing you always have to remember with the internet is it's not a unified thing that a person can learn in a weekend. It's composed of thousands of computer systems. It's very complex. Every site you may go to may have different ways of doing things. So nobody's really an expert on the internet. What our staff can do is they can get you out of trouble. They can show you how to move around. They can basically give you a little bit of guidance. But if you really want to learn how to use the internet, you're going to have to take some time and do it yourself and go out there and see what is there to be found.
With the addition of internet service, San Francisco Public Library joins the 1/3 of major urban public libraries which offer public access to the internet. Those of you already surfing the net can visit the library's homepage at http://sfpl.lib.ca.us. Patrons who have a computer and a modem, but no online provider, can dial up access by calling 557-4450. So check out the new public access internet service at your branch or at the main library. Oh, and if you're looking for a good new book to read, we also have plenty of those.
A lot of people change the oil in their car themselves. That's great. Then they toss the old oil in the trash. Bad. Want to know how bad? 11 Exxon Valdez tankers a year bad. That's just what we tossed away. So take your used oil to a recycling center. If you see someone about to toss their oil in the garbage, tell them to take it back.
Buy stuff that's recycled. Recycle the stuff you buy. Take it back.
You can take back your used motor oil and get paid for it thanks to a new oil recycling program sponsored by the California Integrated Waste Management Board. 8 businesses located throughout San Francisco will pay consumers 4 cents a quart for used motor oil that will then be recycled. So if you change your own oil, take it back to the following locations: S&C Ford at 450 Rhode Island Street, Sunset Union 76, 2545 Judah, Lincoln Unical 76, 1200 La Playa, Sam Shum Unical 76, 3601 Lawton, Irwin's Unical 76, 3501 Geary Boulevard, R&W Unical 76, 800 Folsom Street, Kashawi Unical 76, 1490 Ocean Avenue, and Downtown Union 76 at 380 First Street. Take it back. The Bernal Heights Branch Library invites you to the Guerrero Group Theater's production of The Bull of Amherst, a one-woman show composed exclusively of Emily Dickinson's words, cut and pasted together from her most glimmering and sinister poems and letters. This physical expressionist performance, played by Elizabeth Robinson, spans Emily's lifetime and delves into the darker shadows of her work and life. In this electric 35-minute performance, we see Emily Dickinson engage with death, nature, her dog Carlo, a bearded cactus, immortality, her beloved Susan, and many, many flowers. The Bull of Amherst premieres at the Bernal Heights Public Library, 500 Cortlandt Avenue, with shows on Saturday, October 14th at 4 p.m., Tuesday, October 17th at 7:30 p.m., Thursday, October 19th at 5 p.m., and Saturday, October 21st at 4 p.m. The North Beach Branch Library presents Investment Planning for Your Longer Life, a presentation by financial advisor Teresa M. Dentino, on Tuesday, October 10th from 6:45 to 8 p.m. at the North Beach Branch, located at 2000 Mason Street, near Columbus. Want to learn how to read? Want to help someone else learn to read? Contact Project Read of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4388. Project Read is an adult literacy program that provides volunteer one-to-one tutoring for adult learners. Project Read's support of tutors and students includes tutor orientation and training, continuing education workshops for tutors and students, reading diagnostics for students, family programs, and referrals to classroom instruction at community college centers and to other agencies in the community. There are many ways you can help adults achieve their personal reading goals. Call Project Read to find out how. Learn to read or be a reading tutor. Phone 557-4388.
Friends for Life volunteers bring the riches of the San Francisco Public Library to people who can no longer visit the library themselves. Friends for Life volunteers provide a link between the San Francisco Public Library and people with AIDS or HIV disease. If you would like to be a Friends for Life volunteer, or you are in need of the services Friends for Life provides, call 557-4352 for more information.
City guides are volunteers who enjoy the city and its stories. Let them share their knowledge and enthusiasm with you on free walking tours of various San Francisco locations. Call 557-4266 for more information on free public tours of San Francisco.
You too can be a friend of the San Francisco Public Library. Join us. For more information, phone the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257.
We'd like to hear what you think of At the Public Library. Please send your comments to San Francisco Public Library, Media Production Services, Civic Center, San Francisco, California, 94102.
You've been watching At the Public Library, here on cable channel 54, City Watch. At the Public Library features news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. And for a printed copy of some of the information in this program, pick up a copy of At the Public Library at your branch or at the main library. Tune in next time for more At the Public Library, and thanks for watching.